Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to the channel for yet another video. But this week we're doing something very special. I'm kicking off a Pokemon VGC Draft League. I finally found one that is in my time zone, and I'm fortunate enough to be invited into an 8-player draft. And yeah, this is something that I wanted to do for ages, and it's really exciting for you guys to finally see how drafts can be working on the channel. And I'm going to be doing it from week 0 all the way through to playoffs. Hopefully we can make a deep push into the tournament. But essentially Draft League is something that it takes a lot of coordination and planning and strategy. But essentially it is a draft. So if you're not familiar with draft, you basically have a pool of Pokemon that you get to choose from. If you're familiar with VGC, obviously everyone plays the same Pokemon, like Cineroar, Amoonguss, depends on what format you're in. But this in this draft league, there's only one of each Pokemon. So let me just go to the draft board here. So yeah, you get assigned a 100-point budget, and you essentially have to pick Pokemon from this pool, depending on their value and how relevant they are in the meta. We're going to be playing a Regulation H VGC doubles format, and yeah, it's going to be an 8-player draft. You start at the top, and you have 12 hours to pick your pick. And it goes in a snake format, so essentially it goes all the way down to 8, and then 8 all the way up. So if you're last place, you get 2 picks, and obviously if you're first place, you get the first pick of the bunch. So yeah, really excited for you guys to see this sort of journey, and be kicking it off today, showing you my thought process, how I'm going to be picking Pokemon, how I'm going to be picking a team. As you can see, there's been a start already. People have been making their drafts, so I'm going to be talking about what's been picked so far, as well as what I've picked, and my thought process going into draft. So yeah, this is the first one that I've been playing in. I've been playing VGC for just over a year now, so I've got little bit experience, quite a bit of experience in Regulation H. This was the first proper format that I got my teeth into, so I know the format pretty well. However, just to confirm as well, you'll be playing 1 match per week, so I'll be recording my gameplay and sharing them on the channel. So you guys can sort of follow week by week any changes I do to the team. And it is a closed team sheet, but open trustalization. So my opponents can see our teams and their trustalization. I can see my opponent's trustalization in their teams, but it is closed team sheet, so I cannot see the moves, cannot see the abilities. But yeah, there's a lot of coordination and planning that takes that has to go on the background to make this possible. So thanks for the guys setting this up. This is a Cardiff Regulation H VGC Draft League. You can see in the top corner. So thanks for everyone's involvement in getting this set up. And I'm looking to do a lot more. So I'm looking to host my own. So if you guys are interested, join the Discord below. I've got a Draft League channel there, so you can just react to the channel, the post in there, and I will get back to you with a Draft League hopefully set up in the near future. But yeah, of course, this took inspiration from Wolfie's draft. I'll leave this document in the link below, as well as the this draft document as well here, which is really helpful, which I'll go over shortly. But yeah, as I mentioned, you have a 100-point budget. You go through, you pick your Pokemon within your budget, and it is doubles. So you have 2 Pokemon at the same time. You have a team of 10, so you have to pick 10 Pokemon, no more, no less, within your 100-point budget. And you bring 6 of those 10 to your matchup per week. So you play 1 match per week against another coach. And then, yeah, after 7 weeks, I think there's a top 4 bracket, or top 8. Sorry, a top 4. Or there might be a top 2. I'm not too sure how it's going to work with the playoffs. But yeah, it's 7 weeks of can be a big test. 7 weeks of competing against other really experienced coaches. So I'll be doing week by week videos. If you guys are interested, leave a like, leave a subscribe if you want to follow this journey along. It's going to be really, really exciting. So as you can see, we've obviously made a start already. And in my Pokemon Showdown, I did quite a bit of work this week, to be fair, just to get things sort of off the ground and running, to sort of identify what Pokemon in this pool were fairly low value, but had quite a good pool of moves, abilities, and good typing as well. There's only a few that you can really say that are budget and have really good typing, that don't conflict with other items they may want to hold with your team. But yeah, I kind of narrowed it down to a good few Pokemon from top end, middle of the pool, low end of the pool. And I kind of put them into categories here. I guess I'll start. So I kind of got informed yesterday, so before the draft began, that I was going to get 3rd pick. So I was very happy with getting 3rd pick, because as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon that were worth 20 points, and I really wanted 3 of them. 3 of them being one of these guys. So I really wanted Goldengo, I really wanted Annihilate, and I really wanted Blood Moon. So just to go back to this pool here, I've been playing VGC for about a year now, so I wanted to use pieces and Pokemon that I'm really familiar with. I think anyone that plays Pokemon can sort of correlate with this. If you don't have the time to put into Pokemon, kind of find a few Pokemon that are really, really good in every generation and get really good with them, because when you switch generation, when you switch format, you can always go back to Pokemon you've got experience with, and you don't have to learn new pieces, new sets off by heart again. You just have to learn or refresh yourself on what you've learned previously. So I wanted to essentially stick with a couple of Pokemon that I knew really well. Of course, this is a non-restricted format. No Paradox Pokemon, no pseudo. This is obviously pseudo legendaries. There's no Paradox Pokemon, no legendary Pokemon, no restricted Pokemon. Just regional form, region decks, national decks Pokemon. So yeah, I kind of wanted to use these to build the team around essentially a big 20-point Pokemon. The reason why I didn't want Arcaladon, so in Regulation H, there's rain, sun, sand, and snow. Snow kind of just being Alolan Ninetales, but the 4 weathers are just so powerful. So you kind of have to either build around one, or you kind of have to build around Annihilate, Goldengo, Blood Moon, Ursaluna. So they kind of the strategies that kind of balance sit between all the weathers. And I didn't want to play weather, especially in closed team sheet draft. People are always going to have random silly little counters to weather, and I didn't want to play the weather war. As you can see, in my draft, I did pick Alolan Ninetales, so I have opted into a weather war, but Alolan Ninetales is so flexible, doesn't really need the weather, which I'll get onto in a second. But essentially, I didn't want to build around Dragonite. I did consider Dragonite, but I didn't want to build around it because it had a 4x weakness. Although Dragonite is absolutely amazing, I just didn't think it was worth the 20 points. The only 3 Pokemon that I really wanted that were worth the 20 points to me were Annihilate, Goldengo, and Blood Moon. Goldengo ability is broken, just an anti-BS ability, has great typing, great stats. Same with Annihilate, just a great Pokemon, probably the most overstated Pokemon in the format. Very happy to get this pick, so I was able to sort of build a team around it, and I've kind of made it obvious that Annihilate's going to be my main game plan for the rest of the drafters already. I got a bit of slack for sniping Poltergeist, which I'll get onto in a minute, but yeah, I'm happy to get Annihilate to start things off. But those are my sort of 3 that I really wanted to build around. Blood Moon Ursaluna is kind of ridiculous, so I was really happy to get one of my Pokemon that I really wanted off the bat. So yeah, I mean, if we kind of look at the tiers of Pokemon that I've kind of picked out, and we can talk about them one by one. I think Crabonum, I cannot say his name for the life of me, but it has decent stats. It's pretty offensive. It's only a 3-pointer, but it could be a good Trick Room Sweeper. Could be good behind Tailwind. Has really good offensive synergy. So yeah, quite a decent pick if I have to pick a 3-pointer. Emboar, I did think about Emboar, to be fair, but the only reason why I didn't want to pick Emboar is initially, like off the bat, its stats aren't the best and doesn't have the best ability, and 5 points is quite steep. So Emboar's like something that I would consider. Altaria, 3 points, has really good ability in Cloud 9, which turns off weather. Decently statted, has a really good deep move pool as well. Kind of plays support, but we'll kind of see if I need to bring in Altaria. Probably not now I have Ninetales, but it's just a Pokemon that I thought could be good, have good value to it. Riolu, which is a really good Pokemon to format. It essentially has Prankster, and you can give it moves like Coaching, which boosts the attack and defense of its ally. And yeah, this Pokemon's really good. Good Eviolite holder, has decent move pool, has Bullet Punch. Just a good Pokemon, and Prankster's really good in this format. So yeah, I'd definitely consider Riolu a bit deeper on into the draft, as it's only a 4-point pick and could coach my Annihilate to make it stronger. Another Pokemon is Grumpig. Now, Grumpig actually is not too bad because it has Thick Fat. So basically, it halves the offensive moves of Fire and Ice type moves into it. So it can be really good into the Sun matchup. If I play a coach that has a prevalent Sun team, I can bring in Grumpig, give it something like an Assault Vest. And it has really good bulk. Has like surprisingly good bulk. Its move pool is not too bad either. It does have quite a few supporting moves, has Snarl as well, which is really good. T-Wave, can set Trick Room. I think this Pokemon's really good. And you don't have to put an Assault Vest on it, but you can also put like Leftovers on it, Citrus Berry on it. I think it has Gluttony as well, which is not bad. Ability, so yeah, Grumpig for 2 points could be really good. Toxapex is also a Pokemon they did think about. Has a Regenerator, has really crazy good bulk, but I feel like it's quite a passive Pokemon, so I'm not too sure if I will consider it. But for 2 points, a really good bargain. Same with Zebra Striker. Wow, Zebra Striker, 2 points. A very, very fast Pokemon. Has Sunny Day, Electro Web, Discharge, Helping Hand. Great move pool. 2 points. Not the best bulk, but very, very fast and can set Sunny Day. So a way to sort of play around rain. Ditto is a Pokemon that I am considering towards the end game of the draft. It's great to just switch in on those Pokemon that want to set up, like Ichalodon. If my opponent has a Stamina Ichalodon and they have loads of stat boosts on it, I can just switch in a Ditto, copy all those stat boosts, and start firing back offensive power into their setup Pokemon. Venonat, I expect this Pokemon to get drafted. It is one of the best Pokemon in draft. 2 points. Only 2 points. And it is your budget Among Us. It's not a grass type, but Bug Poison is not like the worst type. Has Compound Eyes, which is absolutely broken, making your Sleep Powders a lot more accurate. Sludge Bomb, Rage Powder, just a really good Pokemon. And with the Eviolite, surprisingly bulky. Actually, doesn't look very bulky. You probably might laugh at a Venonat, but actually is a threat in Draft League. Something I would consider if it doesn't get sniped. Haunter is actually a great Pokemon. It has Trick Room, it has Imprison, it has Haze, and you can give it like a Shadow Ball to pick off Goldengos, and it also has Levitate as well. If I was playing, I did consider Garchomp for this draft, and this obviously is a great partner with Garchomp. You can put Levitate. I think it has Will-O-Wisp as well. Has Will-O-Wisp, has like Thunder Punch, has like loads of random moves. Sucker Punch, I believe. Yeah, Sucker Punch substitute has like a great pool to it, and it's only 3 points. It does have to hold the Eviolite. It's one of the more kind of expensive Eviolite holders. I mean, there's a few others like Thwackey, which I'm considering as well. But just a great Pokemon. Stantler as well, which is actually kind of good. Sets up Trick Room, has a decent bulk. Again, give it an Eviolite to make it more bulky. Can set up screens, Calm Mind, has Shadow Ball. Just a great Pokemon. Oh, not to mention 3 very, very good abilities for draft. Intimidate. Do I need to say much about Intimidate? Frisk, which lets you see your opponent's items, which is really important in best of 3 closed team sheet. And Sap Sipper. So Sap Sipper makes it immune to grass type moves, which makes you spore resistant, which is very important for VGC doubles. And yeah, that's kind of like the low picks I thought about. Obviously, there's a couple more here. There's quite a lot of 1 point picks, but they're not very good. They're 1 points for a reason. But if I need to draft some, I think there's a couple that you could potentially draft. It's just like Focus Sash users or like a quick fake out user potentially. But yeah, I'll try and avoid them if possible, because I want a well-balanced team of 10 Pokemon. And these are some of the sort of mid to high tier picks that I'm really considering. Poltergeist, I managed to snipe it. But I think Trevenant is also another Pokemon, the same sort of, fills the same role as Poltergeist. And it has Frisk and Harvest, which is just broken moves in general. For this sort of format, you can give it like a Will-O-Wisp. It can set up Trick Room. I think it has Hex, I believe. Yeah, Hex, so it can double its attack if its opponent's burnt. Just a great Pokemon. Really like decently bulked as well. Has decent stats. And 3 points is an absolute bargain. Doesn't need to hold the Eviolite either. So just a good Pokemon for draft. Aquatoros, I did think about this also. It's quite expensive though for what it is. It has got very good stats. It is fast, it hits hard, has decent bulk. I mean, thinking about it, 14 points is quite cheap for a Pokemon with his stats. So potentially later down in the draft, I could actually consider this. It has okay abilities. I think Intimidate is probably the main one. But yeah, it's definitely a Pokemon that I would consider. Same with Meowscarada, just a great Choice Band or Focus Sash holder. Gets Protein as well, so you can give it Stab. Moves like U-Turn, has Knockoff, Flower Trick, which always gets a crit. Just a good grass type in general. Whimsicott has Beat Up, Tailwind, Sunny Day, all the great moves you really want to see in VGC, but 19 point, very expensive. Rhyperior, which I think is, well, this Pokemon is going to be a monster in draft. I'm really scared to play against Rhyperior. Has good solid moves in Ground and Rock. Sorry, typing, Ground and Rock, good for Trick Room. Lightning Rod ability, very, very good. And yeah, just like a really good like Pokemon to throw at Trick Room teams. If you feel like your opponent has like a really good Trick Room option, you can just bring a Rhyperior, give it an Assault Vest, and it threatens Pokemon on the field under Trick Room massively. And it's like has incredible bulk as well within Assault Vest, so not too bad for 12 points. Jolteon, this is another Pokemon that I would consider. Very fast, has a Sunny Day, which is also a move that can counter rain, and it has Electro Webs, which can give me speed control. Just like a good Pokemon for 7 points, I would consider it also. Raichu, I am the Riverside Raichus. That is my coach, my team name. I guess the name comes from my football team. My local football team that I play for is Riverside Rovers. Trying to find, here we go. Yeah, Riverside Raichu. Trying to think of a name is quite difficult. So I was like, I'll just throw that out there. Raichu isn't even my favorite Pokemon, but it's just a cool name that I thought of. And this Pokemon is actually very good in draft. It has a very good ability in Lightning Rod. Has static as well. 2 flexible abilities that can be quite tricky for your opponent to guess. Can hold quite a few items. Very, very fast. Has Fake Out, Nuzzle, Electro Web, Volt Switch. Great move pool. I think it has Snarl as well. Doesn't have Snarl, but you can like paralyze stuff with T-Wave. Has Charge Beam. Not too bad. For 8 points, good pick. Quackavolt, 10-pointer. Very, very like good value for a Pokemon. A starter Pokemon that has these stats. Has Moxie, so against rain you can bring it. Hits like Caladon for super effective damage. Just a good Pokemon. I would consider it also. Mimikyu for a very good Trick Room setter. I think Mimikyu is quite linear though. You can give it some support moves, but you can also just make it a strong Fairy type. And there aren't too many Fairy types in the format, so maybe Mimikyu could be an option. But I do think it's quite linear. For Alligator, now this Pokemon I am on the fence about. I do want to draft it, but it doesn't have the best sort of offense. Yeah, you can give it a Life Orb with Sheer Force, but again, it's quite linear. I want Pokemon that can fill different roles, think of different matchups. But like for Alligator is quite slept on. Like look at this bulk: 120 defense, 120 special defense. Sorry, base 83 special defense. Sorry. I've kind of like messed around with the EVs here. These aren't necessarily the moves that I would be running for Alligator, but something that I would consider. Blaziken, which is 9 points. 9. Has speed boost. Very good Pokemon. Would consider it, definitely. Very good Pokemon. Mamoswine. Very good typing. Do I need to say much about Mamoswine? It's been there in VGC for donkey's years, but it's just a great Pokemon in general. 14 points is a bit steep for something. It's power crept as Mamoswine. Doesn't quite keep up with the big boys, but it can still compete. Bisharp, if I don't have an Eviolite holder, I would also consider Bisharp. I would not play King Gambit in this format. It is a 19-point Pokemon, and it has a 4x weakness to fighting, which you can run into random Terra Blasts, fighting Terra Blasts, and KO your King Gambit. Doesn't matter how bulky you are, you're pretty sure you go down to a Terra fighting Terra Blast on something that has reasonable offense. But yeah, it's been drafted, so we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, there's like a couple of Pokemon here. Hitmontop's really good. Magmortar's really good. Different like abilities that can be really, really important for those different matchups. What else is there? There's Hydropple, which is... I've got this set here. I think this set's kind of broken, but I'm not going to talk about it too much in case whether the other coaches see this video. But essentially, it's like a big bulky wall, sits on a field, can yawn stuff, can Fickle Beam, can Infestation. Really annoying Pokemon to deal with. Does have a 4x weakness to Ice though, which can be a massive drawback, especially in a format like this with like Ninetales is really prevalent. I guess it's a bit different to draft because it only won Ninetales, but at the same time, could be an option, especially as I have drafted the Ninetales, so I won't be playing against it. And then yeah, I was really impressed by like Torterra and Chestnut. I thought these Pokemon, for what they're worth, could be really good options, especially in terrain. Like Torterra, immune to electro shots. You can put Grassy Seed on your opponent's guy Caladon. Can do some really cool stuff. So I'm quite excited to potentially draft a Torterra. But we'll see. Also, Chestnut, really good Pokemon against Goldengo. Bulletproof Wide Guard completely walls it, and you can knock off Leech Seed, Pokemon that want to set up. Does have a few weaknesses, but I guess that's the payoff for Pokemon that are fairly low points. But yeah, I guess these are like the big hitters now. So, well, like big hitter Fungus. But Fungus is actually nice because I think like Among Us, 19 points, Incineroar, 19 points, they do demand a lot of respect. I don't think they're worth the 19 points because there's Spore users that are similar to this for a lot cheaper. Fungus obviously being one of them. It's pretty bulky with an Eviolite. As I mentioned, there's Venonat, there's Breloom, there's loads of Pokemon that can just put stuff to sleep, redirect stuff for Rage Powder. Among Us just does demand the 19 points. It is just an incredible Pokemon for VGC doubles. I wouldn't consider it though. It has been drafted, but I wouldn't consider it because of the options that are a lot more cheaper, and I would like to value the 100-point budget a bit better by picking alternate sort of choices instead of just going for broke. Yes, Fungus, just a good pick in general. Basculegion, I don't think it's been drafted yet, and this is a Pokemon that I would... Oh, it has been drafted, never mind. There we go. Okay, let's skip Basculegion. Gyarados, just a good Pokemon in general, has a really good ability in Intimidate. I think it has Moxie as well. I don't think he played Moxie, but I think it could come up. Just really good move pool as well, really good stats. Metagross, I don't think it's been drafted. I hope it hasn't. I would consider this Pokemon. 14 points. And I think one of my strategies for draft is to pick a Pokemon that's a pseudo-legendary, like because they have very good stats. Metagross falls into that category, has crazy stats, and clear body, so it can't be intimidated. And yeah, it's just a Pokemon that's really good. I would definitely consider it. Goodra, Salamence, Tita. I think a lot of these Pokemon have been drafted already. Hisuian Arcanine. So this Pokemon has not been drafted, and I would consider it because it is very, very good. But I found a Pokemon that might be even better than it, which we'll get onto in a bit for cheaper. I'm going to ignore this team here. This was something that I would have considered if Goldengo was an option. Same with here. Don't think any of these Pokemon really are available. I think Garchomp's been sniped, and Hisuian Typhlosion might have potentially been sniped. But yeah, this is also a team I would consider also. Hawlucha could be really nice with Unburden White Herb, so if your opponent leads an Intimidate into you, you can make it very fast, and it also has Coaching, and you can put it next to a Garchomp. Doesn't get hit with the Earthquakes, and Garchomp goes burr. So that was an option, but don't think it's an option anymore because I've obviously made my choices. And yeah, these are some Pokemon here that I would obviously consider, like I mentioned. I think Grimmsnarl's... Wow, Grimmsnarl, I'm so impressed by it in Draft League. Has Prankster, has Pickpocket, Frisk, really good abilities. And if you look at his attack stat, Grimmsnarl got hands. He can hit. 120 attack stats, nothing to scoff at. As I mentioned here, I can give it like an Ice Punch to hit like stuff like Dragonite, Sucker Punch, Stab, Crunch. Does it get Sword Dance? No, it doesn't, but I can coach it potentially. So yeah, really good Pokemon. I'm very flexible. That's what I want. I want Pokemon that are flexible. If you guys ever play Football Manager, you want players that can play in different positions. This is my Grimmsnarl that can play centre back, left back, right back, goalkeeper. No, probably not a goalkeeper, but at the same time, I can put it in give it different roles essentially. And yeah, these are just some like solid Pokemon. I think Hydreigon hasn't been picked yet. 15-pointer Hydreigon. Hydreigon is a very good Pokemon. You can give it Black Glasses. You can give it a Life Orb. You can give it a Specs. You can give it an Assault Vest. You can give it Safety Goggles. You can give it a very deep amount of items it can hold. Has Tailwind. Has Snarl. Snarl. Has Snarl. Has obviously Draco Meteor. Earth Power. Terrifier. Terrifier Heatwave even in the sun. Good Pokemon. I would definitely consider Hydreigon. Spoke about some of these already. I think Blastoise. Blastoise is a Pokemon I definitely would... There's a lot of Pokemon I would consider. Blastoise is definitely one of them because it has Fake Outs and Shell Smash. So you can give it like a Fake Out, like Liquidation, I think it can learn. You can give it like a big supporting tool. It can learn Haze as well, which is kind of crazy. Icy Wind, Iron Defense. Does it get Body Press? holy crap, it gets body press. Like a good setup Pokemon, and you can also make it like a fake out support Pokemon. Has Life Dew. Yeah, I would 100% consider Blastoise. 10-pointer, very good Pokemon. Especially if because I've drafted like Ninetales and Poltergeist already. They're both weak to fire. Blastoise can cover that. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think Hitmontop, obviously, like everyone knows Hitmontop, just a fast. This is like your budget Incineroar. Has a fast fake out. Wide guard. I mean, it's not the fastest Pokemon, but it's fast enough in this format. Has close combat. You can give it a White Herb. Protect. This is like a very common set, or even like a Focus Sash. Yeah, that's kind of like my idea. But yeah, we'll kind of talk about what's been picked already. If we go into the draft here, people are still drafting Pokemon. Oh no, Rain. That is the stuff of dreams there, and Basculegion was a pick that I did consider. But as you can see here, one of the coaches has literally got the dream Raincore, Pelipper, Archaludon, Basculegion. I was hoping one of the other coaches would have sniped the Basculegion. Same with one of the other coaches here, literally got the full Sandcore. A lot of very scary Pokemon. So if we look at the start here, Dragapult was the first pick of the entire draft, which I was really concerned of, because Dragapult is very fast and it can also learn a lot of moves. If we look at Dragapult, it is extremely speedy. I think it's one of the speediest Pokemon in the format, and it can learn silly moves like Will-O-Wisp. It can learn Light Screen. Give it screens. It also has Dragon Darts, what is signature move, which is absolutely broken. Hits 2 Pokemon on the field, and then ignores Protects as well. It can hit the other Pokemon, either Pokemon Protects. It has Clear Body. You can give it Curse Body. It has, yeah, very good Pokemon. I'm not surprised. I think it's a 19-pointer as well. Yeah, it's a 19-pointer. So like good spot by one of the coaches to pick that up. Murkrow, Primarina, good picks here. Ooh, we have a Goldengo, Ursaluna, Amoonguss core here. Very, very powerful. Very expensive though. They only have 41 points remaining. As you can see here, like a lot of these players are just going broke early on. I mean, it's not. I mean, I say go broke early on. There are options for 1-2 point Pokemon, as I've seen, and showed you guys that could potentially like bump your numbers up and keep you within budget. But yeah, like I think. Yeah, this team looks really scary. Has Tailwind with Dragonite. Has Trick Room with Porygon 2. Torkoal can set up the Sun. Yeah, we have Sand, full Rain. We have very scary Prankster Tailwind. I think Illuminazi gets Tailwind. Does it get Tailwind? Yeah, does it get Prankster? Yeah, it does. Okay, that's pretty scary. Trick Room Prankster. Trick Room Prankster Tailwind with the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Always very scary. And we've got one of the last coaches waiting for the third pick, but they've drafted King Gambit and Baxcalibur. So, yeah, very, very interesting picks. And yeah, this is kind of like my thought process. I want pieces that I'm familiar with. I want to play Pokemon that I've used in the past for familiarity and for matchup experience. Also want like pseudo legendaries. I think overstated Pokemon would carry, and yeah, I kind of want to like see what my opponents draft and see if I can sort of counter pick them as we go through, because once you lock in your 10, that is kind of it. I don't think there's any room for adjusting your 10 picks. So you got to make it count. And the format that we're doing, you get 12 hours to pick your Pokemon, and if you skip it, you essentially skip your pick, and you pick up 2 picks on your next go. So yeah, it's pretty. It takes a bit of planning, takes a bit of strategy to sort of figure out what you'll play. And kind of manage it as the other coaches pick their teams. But yeah, really excited to get this going, and I will record all my games on the channel. And yeah, it's been really fun to talk about like my thought process. And if you guys want to join on the journey, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want to join the Discord in the description below, I'll be looking to set my own draft league up if you're looking. I'm welcome to any time zones. And yeah, I appreciate guys for following along and watching the whole video. And I'll see you next week for Week 1, we'll be battling our first draft battle. I'll see you there. Thanks all. Take care. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Peace.